So I'm not just going to use the Untouchables and the Devil Stars immediately. I want to showcase just how bad the final phase of Mundus is. Skip this pointless cutscene. So we're on the flying phase, which is kind of decent, but it does have problems. So watch him carefully. This move just gotta circle the camera like this. This move is annoying, but you can actually move faster if you hold X and move the D-pad, and use the D-pad because the controls aren't inverted when you use the D-pad. But generally you can avoid most of Mundus's moves by just circling the screen like this. And when you get close enough, he's limited in his moves. He's only able to do like a handful of moves when you're close enough to him. But you gotta destroy these orbs in order to get through his shield. The balls also regenerate a bit of your devil gauge. Just keep moving because these smaller orbs are active. This move you can iframe through by pressing triangle to do that particular spin move. So if you press circle and square together, but not together, just like alternate between them in a certain rhythm, you can fire your projectiles faster. But just save your devil gauge. Use it in an emergency when you're trying to close in on Mundus, so that you don't get caught with your pants down. Whoa. This lightning move is pretty annoying. And when he pairs it with the wrong attack animations, that's a problem. Hey. Definitely need to iframe through that. Oh, that's also a big issue. So during that entire moment where the dragon is going towards Mundus, you can actually control Dante, but that means that Mundus is in the middle of doing his attack animations while that dragon is heading towards him. It doesn't just cancel out his attack animations and he just waits. He's still doing it, so you have no idea what he's doing, and you're having to watch the dragon. You have no camera control. It is so dumb. And I failed. God damn it. So yeah, during this one you can move, so try to do the same motion of going around in a circle, staying near the edges of the screen. Same thing again. You don't have to hold X to avoid this move, but it's kind of recommended in certain cases to hold X. Again, iframe through this move, or just get out of the way. I think he takes more damage if you aim for his chest. Yeah, I don't really try to use Devil Trigger during this moment. It's only when he's far away that I use it. So you can iframe through that and also damage him. The timing is very strict. He's firing the meteorites. That move is also very deceptive because there's like 1 or 2 meteors at the start of that move that aren't really following the same path as the others. So you can accidentally get clipped by one when you're trying to avoid it at the start. This will just keep moving. Just keep hugging the edge of the screen. And whenever you hit Mundus with the Devil Trigger, he will always put up his shield. So you can kind of use that particular animation of him putting up his shield to delay him from attacking you while you close in on him, which can definitely help. You can melee these rocks with your triangle attack, but it's not really recommended because you can easily get hit by another attack. I have to use the iframes. Like, keep moving during this moment. Okay, focus. Nope, too early. It's just hard to time because when you're closing in on him after the first time you close in on him, like on the second, third, or fourth time, you're closer to him. And so that messes with your timing when trying to do that particular melee attack, which is why it's sometimes better to just get out of the way. He has far too much life. The boss has really become a slog in the later parts of Devil May Cry 1. There we go. Now we're on the worst part of Mundus' boss fight. So, right now, your Devil Gauge is completely different. So when you Devil Gauge, you go into this form that allows you to fire fireballs, and your sword gets a lot of range. And your sword, when you're Devil Triggered, is your most damaging attack against him. Don't bother using Holy Waters. Holy Waters do like no damage to him whatsoever. But this is where Untouchables are really needed, because it is so tedious just trying to wait for an opening. And there's so many different attacks that Mundus can do that damage you in really bullshit ways. And you have all these rocks getting in the way as well. You have to shoot these things as well. You can only destroy them with your grenade launcher in one shot. But the problem is, Dante has so much trouble actually aiming at those orbs because the auto-aim is garbage. Like you saw right there, I was so close to the orbs, and yet Dante prioritized Mundus, who was so much farther away. It just makes no sense. Now, these bigger orbs, after a certain amount of time, Mundus will reconvene them into fireballs, so he'll pull them towards himself and use them as fireballs. So depending on how many of these giant orbs are around, that's the amount of fireballs he will launch at you, and the fireballs are impossible to avoid unless you do some really weird movement or you deflect them with your sword. But the timing on when you're supposed to deflect the fireballs back makes no sense. Not to mention, when you have multiple fireballs coming at you, even if you deflect one, another one will easily hit you because your combo is slower than the speed of these fireballs. So there's no way you can launch them all back. It's physically impossible. This move is really bad. I don't really understand how to avoid this move without running. See, I got hit. Like, I don't know if you're supposed to stand in a particular spot, but it changes direction as well. That particular red beam move he does. But see right now, these fireballs are barely doing any damage. Only my sword will do a lot of damage. And I can actually hit him from here. But these smaller orbs are being a nuisance. And sometimes he'll spawn this dragon, and when he spawns the dragon and you kill it, it will always drop health. You just gotta be very careful and move out of the way, because it will do a lot of damage. And that's right, the rubble that this dragon creates when it moves into these platforms, it's like every time the dragon moves into a platform, it breaks it apart, and the rubble will actually damage you, which is so stupid. This is one of those really rare games where environmental debris, or like debris that's purely for aesthetics, can damage you, which is so stupid. But as long as this dragon is active, Mundus tends to take a bit longer to attack you, which is what I saw the speedrunner do. So he left that dragon alive, and Mundus was taking a very long time to actually attack him because he was waiting for the dragon to attack him instead. But those smaller orbs are going to go in the circle. Oh, he's using the fireballs. Yeah, see, they're just really good at aiming for you. This move's also dangerous. And see, you would assume Dante would prioritize that orb in the sky, but he won't. So I have to run the gambit with this particular laser. You can stand in a particular spot to avoid them, but you open yourself up to Mundus' attacks in the process. And he's also spawning in other small orbs as well. Oh no. You just gotta keep moving, and it only seems like you can be in Devil Trigger mode to avoid that move. Simply running when you're not in Devil Trigger mode does not allow you to avoid those red lasers. Oh good, he spawned in the dragon, which is what I need. Because I need to regain health. Again, watch out for the debris! So stupid. It just takes so long when you're not using the Untouchables. Oh no, he's using the fireballs now. Yeah, it's... The timing on that just makes no sense. He's gonna try the punch now. But again, you can step in the lava, it will damage you, but it won't kill you. Yep, they were going to catch me either way. It's just such a tedious encounter. It's horrible. It's really bad. And again, Dante will not prioritize those orbs. No, you can't just stand in a particular spot. Never mind. And he caught me with that stupid funnel move. Those funnels are a lot faster than the funnels that Phantom generates. You can double jump as well to... No, okay, that failed. Oh no, I'm dead, I'm dead. Okay, luckily the iframes on the jump saved me. Whoa! And yeah, it's just really bad. It's so terrible. Oh my god, and that stupid rubble. And these platforms get in the way every time you're trying to shoot. He's doing the fireball. Okay, I knocked one of them back. I just don't know how I missed that first fireball. It makes no sense. Yeah, all that rubble is really obnoxious. It's just a really annoying encounter, not really difficult for the right reasons. And I'm dead again. There's just nothing you can do about those smaller orbs. And you saw right there, I actually hit one of the smaller orbs with my sword, and it was somehow still around. So apparently the smaller orbs have more health than the bigger orbs. How does that make sense? Oh, it damages him? I did not know that. I had no idea that dragon actually damaged him. Yeah, that's interesting. I did not know there was friendly fire for the enemies in this boss fight. If you want to call it that, it doesn't really feel like a boss fight, and I'm dead. I'm dead. There's nothing I can do. See? It's just impossible to avoid those. No chance. It's like, how do you be aggressive in this encounter without just literally making the game feel very weird? By the way, hold R1 when you're trying to prioritize the dragon so that Dante actually prioritizes it when it's close by. You can't use Alistor or Ifrit in this boss fight, you can only use Sparta. Okay, I got both of them that time. That's the only time I've ever gotten all the fireballs. I think with these orbs, when they spawn on the furthest platform, like near the edge of the arena, you can just stand up here and they'll never hit you. Oh, except he keeps falling off. Oh, the fucking rubble again! Yeah, it's just such a shit boss fight. It feels so unfinished. It just feels like they ran out of ideas and this is what they came up with. And the poor quality really shows with a lot of the dumb attacks, the lack of openings, just the really bizarre methodology you have to adhere to even progress the fight. I mean, you could be spending minutes before you get an opening. It's so stupid. Alright, let's get serious, which... If serious is referring to relying upon a bizarre methodology, using items to actually progress the fight, that's pretty much broken and unfinished and really questionable in so many of its designs. Yeah. Let's get serious is not the proper phrase to use for this piece of shit encounter. Like, if it was just the flying phase and that was it, I'd be kind of okay with it. See, again, I couldn't tell that he was starting a move, so I could have been caught just then. You have to really choose the right moments with when you use double trigger. And see, I'm much closer to him, so it really feels weird, but just trying to avoid these projectiles when I'm this close to him. I just feel like that's an error on the game's part. It shouldn't put me this close to him. Like, you saw how distant I was when I first closed in on him. It just... I don't know why I'm this close to him the second time I'm closing in on him. It makes no sense. You know, it's so funny that they have a particular movement system with the D-pad, yet this wasn't integrated with the general movement for the game. They didn't have a D-pad option for movement and an analog stick option for movement. They only had the analog stick option for the general movement, and then for these very specific set pieces, you can use the D-pad. And also with, like, the swimming moments. It just makes no sense. This is so tedious. But again, if this was the only phase, it'd be tolerable, but the fact that you have to do the next phase just makes no sense. Just run. And just do the animation cancel method with your sword. Make sure you keep your health up just so you can tell when the untouchable's about to run out. And you will be flinched, by the way. You're not invulnerable to flinches when you're in untouchable mode. Just don't stop. Keep laying everything you have into him. A brain-dead strategy for a brain-dead boss fight. How befitting. Oh, it ran out at the last second! God damn it! Well, I have to restart now, because I need those untouchables, and when you use a yellow orb, it doesn't replenish your items, which is so stupid. This game has some really quirky mechanics like that with not replenishing your items. For example, when you use a yellow orb. The checkpoint system is just trash in this game. So I think where the lightning spawns depends on where you are. I don't know who's worse, this boss or Griffin. And I died. God damn it. That could have been bad. Yeah, it takes a very long time to do this phase. Yeah, it's just not a very exciting boss fight when he has this much life. And people say Devil May Cry 2 is worse. I've not played it yet, so if it is worse than Devil May Cry 1, I could probably expect just the same level of poor quality. There we go. Oh god, I gotta move. Because it's gonna keep knocking me over. No, don't prioritize that. At least I got some health back. Yeah, absolutely pathetic. What a horrible boss fight. That's one of the worst final bosses I've ever seen in gaming history. And they expect you to do it so fast. Like, how are you supposed to do this so fast? I mean, I don't know how you're meant to get the S rank on this far, assuming time is a factor to consider with the S rank, but it just makes no sense what they want you to do. There's just so much confusion put into this final boss fight. But this final part, you need to have plenty of Devil Stars, or a lot of, like, Devil Gauge. So like your typical self-destruct sequence in the Resident Evil title, you gotta make a mad dash for the exit. And there will be some enemies walking your way, so you gotta get rid of them. At least the enemies you deal with are always the same. Alright, this one is a Frost. Yep, easy to dispatch. By the way, that jump I just did by using the thrust near an edge, it's automatic. You don't have to press a button. You don't have to press X. As soon as you near the edge with the thrust, he just jumps. Okay, but definitely deal with these mannequins just so you can recharge your Devil Gauge. The auto aim screwed me again. Alright, this one is going to be a shadow. No, it's through the wall. Come on, attack me, dumb shit. Not that move. Don't Devil Trigger, please. Oh, he Devil Triggered. Well, fucking fantastic. Now I have to reset. Yet again, the developers were retarded when designing an enemy placement. In the middle of a chase sequence like this, you have a timer. Why the hell would you put in that kind of enemy that is so passive and has so much life unless you critically injure it when it's not Devil Triggered? Like, I don't understand how troubled development could possibly lead to developers making really stupid decisions. It's common sense to adhere to the things that I've described. And yet it's so hard for developers to even do that, apparently. There we go. Now I'm gonna let him grab me. But I'm gonna equip the grenade launcher. I don't know which is more effective against Mundus, using Devil Trigger on the grenade launcher or using Air Raid. Because you have to kill Mundus very quickly, otherwise he'll kill you. Just to play it safe, I'm gonna use Air Raid. And by the way, he will get iframes during certain animations. I don't know why. It's really retarded. And that somehow hit me without touching me. There he goes. He's got iframes for some weird reason. I don't know why. And that time it didn't hit me, so I don't know why the hit detection on that burst laser is weird. Okay, he's vulnerable. Use another Devil Star. Okay, now I need to charge up my pistols. I think I can just use a Devil Star, right? Yeah. And done. And now for this really lame escape sequence, which I'm glad you have plenty of health for this, and it even heals you, which is good design. This is nowhere near as good as the escape sequence in Resident Evil 4 OG. And Resident Evil 4 OG is a far better game than this pile of garbage. So this escape sequence holds no sort of weight whatsoever because of how shit this game is. Just stay in the middle of the screen and just mash circle. At least the developers had common sense when designing this. And that's the end of this piece of shit game. And now we're on to the rest of the Devil May Cry games. I am not looking forward to them one bit. I really am not. If Devil May Cry 1 is going to be as shit as it is, I'm really not expecting much. This game is honestly like a 1 out of 10. That's what I'll give it. Well, that's the end of this playthrough. I'll see you in Devil May Cry 2.